The history of religion coincides with the history of mankind. People have always tried to conduct a study on the essence of religion. In today's world, there are many religions. The coexistence of different religions together leads to the fact that in all religions, the notion of God is the same. Turning over page after page of the history of Azerbaijan, I recall our forefathers. In every stone of this land, in every inch, they lived a mysterious world capable of withstanding the millennium's dangerous hurricanes. Now it advises us to go back in time, learn its sacred places, protect and pass them on to future generations. In the middle of the 7th century, the evidence of formal dissemination of Islam in Azerbaijan are the religious and historical monuments. Among them, a special place occupy the mosques and various sacred places. In order to spread Islam in Azerbaijan in the first place, there were built a number of Juma mosques. One of such mosques was built in Derband in 733, and another one was built in 743 in Shamakh. Renowned in Baku as the Mosque of Muhammad, the Mosque of Sinirgala, this mosque could unite many aspects of Shivran Absharon architecture, was built in 1078 by Muhammad Abu Bakr. Another ancient religious monument of Baku is the mosque built in the village of Shikhlar under the name of Bibi Haybat. The mosque was built in the year of 800 on the place of the mausoleum of the Imam's daughter Muzay Khanam VII, who was killed in Baghdad by the Caliph Harun al-Rashid. After his murder, for escaping the persecution of the Caliphs of Amavi, his daughter ran away and came to Baku. Imam Muzay Kazim was forced to leave his homeland of the 8th Imam Reza. He and his family moved to Khorasan, and his daughter and sister moved to Baku, to the village of Shikhlar. They lived and died here. After the death of Imam Reza in 825, his sister Hakima Khanum moved from Mashhad to Anzaleh and thence by ship arrived in Baku. Here she lived in the house of a rich man called Haji Badir. Haji Badir, for secrecy, changed his name to Haybat. Due to the fact that Badir called Hakima Khanum Bibi, aunt, the mosque would Independent Azerbaijan has always been a sacred land where different peoples, different cultures and different religions always lived together. One of the notable periods of the Azerbaijan Republic is associated with the name of our national leader, Heydar Aliyev. National leader Heydar Aliyev led rather exceptional work in all areas of public life in our country. It also included work on religion. To be precise, he built firm relations between the state and religion, the settlement of religious freedom, and the protection of religious values. Is a bright example of the religious and national democracy in Azerbaijan.
Ben Pravoslav Kilisesi'nin rəhbərliyi Alexey Hazretleri, Patriarch Alexey Hazretleri karşısında benim dostumuzdur.
I once made an appeal to the former head of the Orthodox Church, His Excellency the Honorable Patriarch Alexei. Of course he was my friend. Applying to him, I said that for now we have different countries, different boundaries, but there are no limits to public decency. Let us create a sort of body and let it collect all the values of our moral foundations. Of course, we have already built these fortresses. Let us not break them. Let us help each other in these matters. This idea was really approved in all spheres of our life, and so in 2004, under the supervision of myself and His Holiness, the Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia, Alexei, we met in Moscow. At the meeting, representatives of all religions took part. I was elected as one of the co-chairs, and His Holiness Alexei as the other.
2006 yılda birinci bir görüş geçirdi ve bu görüş zamanı
In 2006, we held our first meeting. At that meeting, we decided that such an event should be broader in nature, and the meeting should be held in the form of a summit. And so in 2006, we held the first summit in Moscow.
2006 yıldan bugüne kadar
It was also agreed that the next summit would be held in Azerbaijan. Since 2006, we were supposed to hold the summit, but it was pleasing to Allah Ta'ala that His Holiness Alexei died. After his death, the Providence Summit wasn't held in time. And even there, when we had some difficulties about where and how we might conduct the summit, following the appointment of Patriarch Cyril as leader of the Orthodox Church, this issue was quickly resolved.
Daha çok bildim. Ben onu da evvelden tanıyordum, münasebetlerimiz vardı ve o bu meseleye daha çok büyük önem verdi.
Советского Союза, то мусульмане и представители других конфессий стран СНГ.
After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Muslims and representatives of other faiths were in need of dialogue.
Работы для сохранности стабильности этих стран и развития дружеских отношений.
Such a dialogue means mutual progress and tolerance. In the above dialogue, the role of the Summit of Religious Leaders is very great.
Представителей традиционных культур, которые имели древнюю историю.
Since ancient times, friendly relations have existed between our two nations. These relations should develop, and with the support of mutual cooperation, we will be able to resist the negative factors of our time.
Представителей экстремистских организаций, которые бы смогли.
For example, the terror, extremist groups and different sects are trying to disrupt stability in the region. Our mutual cooperation is the most powerful weapon against them. We believe that such kinds of meetings will help to maintain religious stability in the region.
Будет играть свою роль для развития доброго взаимоотношений, для укрепления стабильности этих стран и для развития дружбы.
Многие столетия мы жили в одном едином государстве. Мы соседи друг другу.
We have long lived as one nation. We are neighbors, regardless of denomination, Muslim, Jew, Christian. Each of us believes in one God.
Но ведь мы каждый по-своему верим в единого Бога. И чтобы жизнь была еще лучше.
For how could life be beautiful if we forget about conscience? Because conscience is the foundation of morality. God is one.
Которые все от одного единого Творца, Господа миров, мы называем Аллах.
We'll have to show to our grandchildren, not looking at our religious differences, all could see that we are living in the state of mutual respect and understanding, and let others take their example from us. For us, the value of such meetings are very important today.
А затем, несомненно, мира и согласия.
Очень и очень правильно, что эта встреча состоялась именно здесь, в Азербайджане, где есть прекрасный опыт многовекового совместного.
The Providence Summit in Baku proved once again that Azerbaijan is a tolerant country. Since ancient times there lived the representatives of Orthodox Christians and Jews.
Россия, в целом, народы нашего общего пространства могут сегодня многое сказать окружающему миру.
And so we can show everybody, especially the West, that we can live together in this world. This is confirmed by our mutual cooperation, friendship, and the decisions that we took together.
Мы знаем, как, несмотря на все различия в богословии и в образе жизни,
all these achievements prove once again that Muslims, Christians, Jews, Buddhists can work together in one area and can give common benefits to any society.
Совместные труды, которые мы осуществляем, все это дает реальную надежду на то, что христиане и мусульмане, иудеи и буддисты, люди разных вер, всегда смогут жить в мире и работать вместе друг с другом.
It should be noted that there is a connection between all religions. As in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala said, Muhammad, tell all the faithful, let them go in the direction of one letter between them and me. We will not worship any but God. Let's not think of an equal to him. This proof is unity between religions. I believe that values such as faith in God, justice, humanity, unity, seed in the world will be able to play a role in this world. These values which we emphasized have believers in all religions. Therefore these common values can become the basis of dialogue between religions. I believe that dialogue between religions can create world peace.
Bu summitin burada keçirilmesi dünyada birinci Azerbaycan'ın imicinin yükselmesi demektir.
The Providence Summit in Azerbaijan is primarily meant to improve the image of Azerbaijan. This would have shown that along with our economic progress, we've also been successful in our religious and spiritual spheres.
Neft sahasında ya iktisadi sahasında yükselişi varsa onunla beraber dini sahada da yükselişleri, manevi sahada da yükselişlerin olması bir daha gösterir.
Certainly, one of the instances that made us particularly happy is that the First Lady of Azerbaijan, the wife of the dear President Mr. İlham Aliyev, Mehriban Aliyeva, participated in the summit.
Bu gelen konakları kabul etmesi, kuvvet.
Mrs. Mehriban Aliyeva awarded the Order of Friendship to the Deputy Minister for Religious Affairs, Adel Abdullah Al-Falah, and we know that sometimes before Mr. Adel Abdullah Al-Falah wrote a book about national leader Heydar Aliyev. He's the only foreign religious figure who sometimes before wrote a book about such a famous person. İlham Aliyev, His Excellency, awarded the Patriarch Cyril, His Excellency, the Order of Honor. Most of the Azerbaijani population are Muslims, but there have always been an Orthodox and Jewish community, and they have never faced any kind of religious contradiction. Expressed in modern language, we can say that tolerance here is in the highest level.
Да приидет царствие Твое, да будет воля Твоя, яко на небеси и на земли. Хлеб наш насущный дашь нам днесь, и остави нам долги наши, тоже и мы оставляем должником нашим. И не веди нас во искушение, но избави нас от лукавого.
дорогие отцы, братья и сестры, для меня большая радость вступить на
Dear dads, brothers and
землю
sisters,
Баку,
I'm honored to be in the Azerbaijani land, to come to Baku and to meet with you here.
вместе с вами совершить божественную службу и помолиться.
Qonaqlar təzə pirə gələndə birinci dəfə idi ki, bütün dinlər
When guests arrived at the Tezepir Mosque, regardless of their religion and language, all of them had
birinci dəfə
visited the
olaraq
mosque.
Kiril Həzrətləri bu qədər çox çıxışlar eləmişdi, amma hələ indiyə qədər məsciddə çıxış eləməmişdi. Birinci dəfə təzə
Holy Cyril told his message to the Buddhists, Christian, Jews and Muslims. After leaving the mosque, Saint Cyril told me that he did not think that in Azerbaijan it is possible to have such tolerant values.
və o cümlədən müsəlmanlar da birlikdə və Kiril Həzrətləri orada özünün münacətini.
For the first time, I feel lucky that being in a Muslim country, I was able to preach and to deliver a speech for all people. I was able to convey my speech to them.
Birinci dəfə idi ki, özümü bu cür xoşbəxt hiss edirəm ki, mən müsəlman dövlətində, müsəlman ölkəsində, məsciddə
On the day before the 25th, after the death of His Holiness Patriarch Alexei, we had to choose a new co-chair, and so in the conference hall of Tezepir Mosque, we have chosen Saint Cyril as co-chair to the board of interreligious discussions in the Azerbaijan Republic.
Ona görə Kiril Həzrətlərini burada, Tezepirdə, Tezepir bu kompleksində, konferans salonunda biz onu dinlərarası məşvərət şurasının həmsədri seçdik. Bunu da biz seçdirdi və burada seçildi. Bu da bir tarixi məqamdır. Yəni Azərbaycan bir növ dini mərkəzə də, mənəvi bir mərkəzə
arası, sivilizasiyalar arası diyaloqun inkişaf etdirilməsi summitin əsas qayələrindən biridir.
One of the main objectives of the summit is the dialogue between religions and civilization in the period of globalization. In fact, it has some substance for this. Before we talk about the dialogue between religions and civilizations, we should first talk about the very essence of dialogue. No one has superiority over another. There is no conviction, no single belief, and no superiority over another. You just need to find some agreement that would all have been able to benefit each other. And the Baku summit raised the question of building dialogue on these topics in the first place. At this summit, we all could come to a more useful solution. In this regard, the Azerbaijani region plays an important role. This includes the historical past of Azerbaijan and the nature of its current residents. For this, we cannot be regarded as accidental providence of this summit in Azerbaijan.
Və bugünkü insanın xarakteri ilə bağlı məsələdir. Ona görə də bunun Azərbaycanda baş tutması təsadüfi sayılmamalıdır.
Biz qloballaşdıqca öz milli mənəvi dəyərlərimizi, özgürlüyümüzü, öz zənginliyimizi
The more we become globalized, the more we must protect all our national moral values and richnesses.
Daha dərindən dərk etməliyik.
We try to represent them wholly all over the world, but at the same time we must learn and weigh the rest of the world. We must properly learn all the processes and the world events and affairs. We must study the world's culture, the history of other civilizations, but not to their own detriment. We must ensure the most enriching our culture through the studies of others.
Bien, d'abord, je voudrais dire combien je suis heureux de me trouver ce soir à Baku.
Firstly, I would like to say that I am very glad that this evening I am in Baku. I have come to participate in this grand summit at the invitation of the Patriarch of Moscow and Russia and the Azerbaijani Sheikh.
Nous allons parler de globalisation et valeurs traditionnelles.
We shall discuss the theme of traditional values in time of globalization. This means that there would be taken into account all the fundamental aspects of our multi-religious and multilingual world. Globalization certainly does not mean brotherhood among nations. We live in a world where we support each other as a friend, but sometimes, unfortunately, we oppose each other as well. I think that the mission of religious leaders is to prove that speaking out against a friend can't make us happy. We believe that we are not here to split religion, but in order to show our friendly relations. And in this sense, Baku may be a model for other countries, because we can see all religions here. They all coexist, have friendly relations, and try, for the sake of the welfare of society as a whole in this country.
Toutes les religions se côtoient, se respectent et essaient de mettre ensemble leurs richesses pour
problems, many challenges, and the best way to face all these challenges and problems is to unite as one family, to create among ourselves a culture of tolerance, of respect, of coexistence and cooperation, so we can work together to face the problems and the challenges that do not differentiate between the believers, whether they are Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, or whatever, but they attack and target all people all over the world. The relations between the believers have to be based on mutual respect, as I said, so we can understand one another and cooperate on the common grounds that bring us together. There are many issues of commonality among the believers of different religions, and I think if we stress them and emphasize the importance of working as one family and helping one another and respecting one another, I think we will be successful in facing all the challenges and the problems that I have mentioned.
The world has been made very comfortable for us. It is almost slowly becoming like a heaven to live in. But though this is a great aspect about it, we need to know the limitations of it also. This technological advancements do not touch the person, the human being per se, the core person, in terms of his or her attitudes, his or her own perception or evaluation of the world outside, or the experiences that he or she undergoes. That personal development, or the development of the core person, whereby he or she can be individually and collectively happy in this fine world, is possible only through religion. Religion addresses the person, helps him to commit himself or herself to a certain set of values, whereby not only he but the whole society per se can be happy. And therefore, even if this advancement may go few more points ahead, we may have much more better advancement in future. Humanity definitely needs religion to help him to enjoy the fruits of technology. One, such summits are necessary because a lot of misunderstandings are caused because of lack of communication, and some people in the name of religion create, for their vested interests, create problems for the humanity. And therefore, it is right or proper that we, the religious leaders, sit together and have dialogues.
At the invitation of the Sheikh, I changed my route from Geneva to Istanbul and arrived in Azerbaijan to participate in the Baku summit. I am very pleased that I am here. It is my great honour to close the plenary session of the summit. I am always ready to accept the invitation of the Azerbaijani side and come to this European city of the Caucasus to discuss topics of religion and civilization. I am sure that the Providence Summit has the support of the President of the Azerbaijan Republic, Mr. Ilham Aliyev. The Baku Summit of Religious Leaders will be remembered by its participants with its results. I would like to emphasize the difference of the principles of Islam and globalization. We recognize the existence of globalization. Today, globalization can be met anywhere in the world. It is natural that globalization has a positive and negative side. We accept the good aspects of globalization and reject the bad ones.
At the summit, His Excellency Cyril said that there is a lot of progress in the talks connected with the settlement of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. He noted the efforts of the presidents of Azerbaijan of the Russian Orthodox Church, since they assumed the role of the mission of a mediator. We know that Azerbaijan was subjected to the aggression by Armenia. Now 20% of Azerbaijani territory is under the occupation of Armenian armed forces.
Azərbaycan tərəfi sülh danışıqlarına daimi
But despite that, Azerbaijan is always supporting peace negotiations and a peaceful settlement of this problem. Our country is openly showing its peaceful attitude towards this issue. We evidently see it in the policy of President Ilham Aliyev. Despite the fact that we are the party subjected to this conflict, we have once again demonstrated our openness, sincerity and constructive attitude, inviting the Catholicos of all Armenians, Gagarin II. By the invitation of Sheikhul Islam al-Shukur Pashazadeh, he is here and taking part in the summit. I would call this step the most friendliest from our side. Inviting the religious leader of the aggressor to the meeting of religious organization does not mean that we forgive them all their sins. It is an act of goodwill intended to show the country of the aggressor openness and candor. Such a step has a great socio-political significance. I note that at every meeting and in every speech, all the world and religious press representatives once again stress the importance of this step on the part of Azerbaijan.
ne kadar büyük ehemmiyet kəsb edildiği bir daha vurgulanmıştır.
Мир столкнулся с большими проблемами. Это проблема терроризма, проблема...
Nowadays, the world is face to face with such big issues as chauvinism, nationalism and religious fanaticism.
Если объединимся, то мы сможем...
The religious leaders, by uniting, we can resist the above problems. These are serious problems and their consequences can be very severe. Thank God that we understand them and are meeting today to do so. The result of this summit is accepting of an important document, and all the country members will be able to do all they can in this area.
The chairman of the Caucasian Muslims, Sheikhul Islam al-Shukur Pashazadeh, the Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia, Cyril, and the Catholicos of all Armenians, Garagin II, signed the declarations on the outcome of the meeting. The document says, there must be a religious potential power, calling the people for peace and tolerance. The joint efforts of the religious leaders would be able to put an end to any kind of international ethnic strife. One important aspect is not to allow the application of military force to a solution of any problem. We will support all the efforts directed to a global solution, and we hope to maintain peace in the hearts of the people.
Религиозные руководители не имеют политической власти.
Religious leaders of religion do not have political power. They can turn the army into one or the other side, and they cannot enjoy the power of the state. However, they have a special opportunity. A religious man, based on the religious values of people trying to find a solution. Currently, I think that we, the religious leaders, met and were able to come to a common decision. This is a kind of test for all religious people. We believe that these tests will help to overcome the tensions that exist. And most importantly, we create the necessary possibility for political figures to assume full responsibility and decide all the existing problems.
Политическое разрешение конфликта могли прийти к согласованным результатам.
We are neighbors. We do not force anyone to move from here. All wars were always ended in peace. All the wars that began all over the world always ended in peace as well. There is no other way. Our work is to achieve peace as quickly as we can. We need to support each other. We are all Caucasians, and the Caucasian mountains unite us in one. In so many battles, we have been together in the same trenches. Our fathers and grandfathers fought a war together against fascism, and being together, they of course won. In our unity there is victory. When being separately, it will of course please our enemies. I'm a religious figure. I cannot call people to war. It's not my job. This does not fit in with my area of work. So I would very much like that soon the politicians hear the voice of the hearts of the people. Let all these issues be resolved within the international community. Our duty is to explain that people want peace. Religious leaders on both sides should be extremely careful in these matters. Religious leaders of each side must encourage their people to bring peace.
O tarafta da dini lider öz işinde halkı daha ula sülhe, emin amallığa hazırlamalıdır.
Achieving world peace is not only the responsibility of state leaders, but also the responsibility of religious leaders and civil society. Their work is a very important aspect of cooperation with government leaders in order to promote friendship between peoples. Protecting human values is the main responsibility of everybody. The Province Summit of Religious Leaders for Peace in Baku, Azerbaijan, is a big step in achieving this holy purpose. The Baku Summit of Religious Leaders of the World is an important event in the independent history of Azerbaijan and should live in the memories of the people as a summit of the history.